Thank you for joining me for another episode of Tech Talk with Suits, and I'm your host, Suits. Alright, so I wanted to dress up as Captain America, not only because it's an awesome outfit with a really cool prop shield, but I also figured it was appropriate because today we're going to be talking about some security stuff for you. And who better to give you security tips than Captain America? So, there are 3 major scams that scammers try to use to get you. And we're going to talk about them today. I like to call them the 3 ings. And if you're like, the 3 ings, what are the 3 ings? First, we've got phishing. Then we've got vishing. Then we have smishing. First, I'm putting the shield down because this thing is heavy. Much lighter. So, you've probably all heard of phishing. P-H-I-S-I-N-G. In fact, if you are in a company at all that uses any type of email, you've probably gone through multiple videos about it and had to do a ton of classes and things like that just to show that you are too smart for scammers. But I want to explain a little bit more what they do with them and why. So, phishing, if you didn't know, is when scammers try to send you an email. This email is meant to look legitimate, and it's meant to look or ask you for information so that way they can have access to your account. So with this email, you've seen emails before, obviously. There's 3 or 4 key things to look for. The 4 key things. 1, is it grammatically okay? Does it look like it has any spelling errors, major spelling errors? Does it look like the person who wrote it is not exactly the best at English? Misspellings, grammar issues, or some of the words that just don't work and it looks like they tried finding synonyms that you're like, what did you just try to say? So that's one thing. Now granted, as much as you might make fun of this, and you can, they're also doing that on purpose. Because they want the people that are the most gullible to click on this stuff and to open it and think it's real. Because if you ignore all the grammar issues, you probably will think this is real or you're not going to question it too much. And that's what they are looking for. Number 2, is it coming from a legitimate looking source? If it comes from what looks like your friend or your relative or maybe your boss, great, so be it. But if it looks like it might be coming from a shady place, you might want to double check. Third thing, does it have a clickable link? A lot of times, if it's a legitimate email, it will simply tell you, hey, go log on to your account, check this out, or talk to tech support, whatever the case may be. But it's going to let you know the next steps. It doesn't usually just say, hey, click here, because that's where problems come up, and we'll talk about that. Third one is, if you're on your computer, you can hover your mouse over the email address they sent it from. If you're on your phone, you can even tap the email address that they sent it from. Now, a legitimate email, and I've got one right here and right here. An illegitimate email is going to be different. So I got this one from PayPal saying, hey, we want to give you some credits or some bonuses, whatever. It spammed me, but I looked it over. It had my information. So it had my name, which I had to blurt out, which also tells you it's probably more legitimate because they already have your information. So it has my information and it has an email. So I clicked on the email and it came up and still said paypal.com. I'm like, okay, legitimate. This one has none of my information. It just came up with a warning and, hey, you really need to check on your account. Click here to do so. I was like, well, it doesn't have any of my information. I don't think there's an issue with my account. There's no misspellings on this one, but it did have a clickable link. But also, if I hover over or click on the email address, you'll notice that doesn't say PayPal at all. It's some random email address. Now, here's the reason why I say be very careful with the email address, because scammers can mask their emails. I can write an email and send it to you, but then instead of my email, I can just say, okay, make it bankofamerica.org or bankofamerica@bankofamerica.org, whatever, and send it. What you see is the mask. When you click on it or you hover over it, you're then seeing the real email address. So be very careful with that. The reason I say be very careful and don't click on links, and most legitimate emails won't have a link on them, is because in the scam email, if you click on the link, it might take you someplace else. And we'll come back to that in just a moment. But be very, very careful of scam emails. They are very hazardous and it can lead you to a website that you don't want, or downloading viruses and malware that you definitely don't want. So be very careful with those. Always double check. All right, so next one, vishing. Vishing is voice. In this case, it's when a person is trying to give you a call on your phone and get information from you that you wouldn't normally give. Now, most places have a little disclaimer that says you will never be emailed or called or texted for your information. If I call into my bank and they ask me for security information, great, that's fine, because I'm the one who called them. I got their real number. If I get a call claiming that it's the bank, that's a whole different story. Hello? Hi, this is tech support for the bank. We're just working on your account, and it appears that there's some fraud going on, so we need you to confirm some of your security questions. Yeah, I didn't see that there was any issue on my account, so maybe I think I'll go ahead and hang up with you here and give you a call back on the number that is listed on your website. No, sir, we need to resolve this right now. So you just need to talk to me right now. I am very appreciative of you that you want to get this done immediately and that my security is your top priority. However, I'm not comfortable doing this over the phone this way, so I'm going to go ahead and give you a call back and we'll go from there. But if you call back, you won't get me necessarily. Yeah, that's kind of the point. Bye. So, here's some issues. As you could tell, he was saying, hey, I just need you to answer some of your security questions. That's an issue. I'm not going to give out my security answers. Now, granted, they might ask some stuff that I didn't even put down as my security answers. However, a lot of people tend to choose the same stuff. It very much can happen when somebody gets the same information that people use everywhere, like mother's maiden name, stuff like that. It's been done in quite a few movies. In fact, it was done in Now You See Me, where they messed with the guy.
Yes, security questions, for instance, like, I don't know, your mother's maiden name or the name of your first pet.
Where would we get that information, Art? You certainly would never tell us.
And it was even done in Mr. Robot. He perfectly showcases this in less than 30 seconds. So, with those, the reason why I say call the number back. So when I told the person, hey, I'm going to give you a call back and we'll go from there. Well, if their number was showing up on my phone as Bank of America, you might be thinking, well, it's from Bank of America, so why can't I just talk to them for a moment? They've got the right number. Here's the problem. Scammers and even a lot of companies have what's called spoofing. It's software that they have that they can mask their number to be a different number. I could make my phone number come across as Bank of America. I could even change it to be your mom's number. I could change it to be whoever number. Now, that's just the mask. Kind of like with the email addresses, when you have a mask, if I emailed them back, in this case, if I call them back, I'm not going to talk to whoever was behind the mask. I'm going to talk to the actual company. So if I ever get a call that says, hey, I really need your information, there seems to be fraud in the account, you don't get phone calls like that legitimately from banks and places like that. So let them know, hey, yeah, I'll go ahead and give the number a call back. And if they're like, oh, wait. Scammers will try everything to make it seem urgent and to make you scared and want to talk to them right then. Well, guess what? If somebody has my bank account information, 30 more seconds isn't going to matter much, honestly. So I'll give them a call right back and talk to somebody legitimate. So that is vishing. Don't give out your information on the phone. Okay, third one, the one that most people are going, wait, what? Smishing. SMS. S-M-I-S-I-N-G. I can spell. Stay in school. So, smishing. If you're asking what the SM is, it's meant to be SMS. So, texting. A lot of times people will get text messages that also do this, and it's a lot like an email, only it's going through your text. And I've actually got two examples. One right here and one right here. So, I got these two text messages. Yeah, the one I wasn't very happy with because it was like the third one I'd gotten that week. So, this one, you can tell that I told them to go somewhere because I was tired of dealing with them. This one, I knew it wasn't going to do any good, but I decided to try to rickroll them. That's actually the YouTube link for Never Gonna Let You Down, or Never Gonna Let You Go. Never gonna let you go. Never go. Okay, I'm done. So, here's the issue. One, obviously these are not actually from USPS. The tracking numbers are not like that, and I didn't order anything through USPS. However, they always seem to come after I've ordered something online, which means somehow something is tracking me, maybe. I need to run a virus scan again, whatever. But the problem is, that link that they have when it says, hey, click this link to check on it. Now, I told you I'd get back to this after the email one. Here's the hard part. If I click on that link, it could do one of a couple of different things to me. One, it could just download malware, or in this case, malicious software that can mess up my computer or my phone. Or it could lead me to what looks like a legitimate website. Here's the problem with this. Anytime you see a link in an email or in your phone, in your text, unless you know for a fact it's legitimate, like we talked about with that other PayPal one, don't click on it. Because even if it looks like a legitimate site, attackers are able to use software that you can easily download. No, I'm not going to show you how to do this, obviously. But you can easily download software and then clone a website. So I can go into the software and say, hey, clone Amazon.com. And it will clone the website onto my computer. And now my computer, if I'm on it, it looks like an Amazon site. So if I take my computer address, or my IP address, if you will, and I put that into an email and I cover my IP address with, here, click this link, or Amazon.com, or I put a mask over it, I send that out to you, you click on Amazon.com on my email, you end up getting sent to my computer. And when you're on the computer, the website might look funky, but you won't know that until after you've put in your username and password, which since you've done it on my machine, technically, I now have your username and password. And I can go on and get whatever I want from Amazon. And trust me, I have an Amazon list just like everybody else. So if you want to buy stuff from it, go ahead. I don't think you do. So don't click on links, even though they look legitimate, whether it's through an email address through an email or through a phone message. Don't click it. It's likely just a fake site. And even if you say, oh, it looks the same, it's probably not. And even the URL up above will probably end up changing a bit. So be very, very careful with those. Please keep yourselves safe and avoid phishing, which is emails, vishing, which is over the phone, giving out information, and smishing, which is those lovely text messages that you get that you'd rather just delete and have them leave you alone. Because smartphones came out, there's a whole new world of ways for scammers to mess with you. No one to tell them no. I was just trying to impromptu, but I'm terrible at singing, so deal with it. And I really don't want a copyright infringement on that either. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But if you have any other questions or comments, or you have any of your own stories or anything like that, anything about tech that you're kind of confused about or you want to know more, leave me a comment down below. Please subscribe, leave a like if you can, and have a wonderful day. And this is Suits, Captain America, signing out, because this outfit is really warm.